Well, law and order, law and order. Portland would be easier because it's more confined. We just go being and that would be it. But you know, so they had 4 or 5 lines. Then they had lines of different, everybody did the same thing. Did they ever even move one step back? I don't think so, right? It was just a slow walk right forward. Then they just started walking faster, faster, faster. Put a lot of guys in jail, Tom, right? Put a lot of guys, great congressman, by the way. Put a lot of guys in jail. Great, not good, great. They put a lot of guys in jail that night, Tom, and that was the end of it. I don't think you had any problem after that. If you had any flare-ups, we'll send them in again. But that's all you do. These are Democrat-run disasters. Look at Chicago. Look at Portland. Look at you with Minneapolis. These are disasters. By the way, are they still trying to get rid of your police force in Minneapolis? That's what I heard. See, they never learn. They never learn. They don't. Look at that lumber. You got a lot of people here. That's a lot of people. I actually like these. You know, we have the arenas. We've always filled them up. It's been great. And the arenas are good, but usually you have to travel like 45 minutes. This thing, you have a hangar. The plane becomes your backstop, right? It's like your curtain. You know, it's a curtain. You get a free curtain. We're outside, which actually makes people happy, and it even makes the people that sometimes not everybody here likes happy, because outside is better. You know, it's better. And we're rounding the turn on COVID, by the way. Our vaccines are coming. A lot of things are happening. We're rounding the turn. We've done a great job. We've done a phenomenal job. We don't get credit for that, but we'll discuss that in a minute. But when you look at it, our country is amazing. It's an amazing country. We love this country, and we're not going to let radical left socialists / communists take over our country. Okay? You know, they use the word socialist, and socialists aren't great, but communists are a hell of a lot worse, and that's where it would be headed. And we're standing in the way of them, this group of people. But you have a lot of groups of people just like this. Every place we go. Last night, you know where we were. You saw that. It was all over the place, right? That's a big state. That's a great state. And then I see the fake polls. You know, I just saw a poll here, Minnesota, and down 9. I don't think so. I mean, I just don't think so. No, they said, I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. It's the craziest thing I've ever said. This is the craziest thing I've seen. President Trump is down 9 in Minnesota. No, I just saw it in the plane. See the plane? The good thing about these beautiful Air Force One, right? That's the smaller version of Air Force One. I think you had a little bit short runway, so they take the smaller to save about $12. No, they took the smaller one. But the great thing about those beautiful planes, they have more televisions than any plane in history. We have televisions in the closet, on the ceilings, on the floors. I've never seen them we have them all over the place. And I'm just coming out, and they said, there he is, and they said it's a smattering of people. They called it a smattering. They always do that. And yet Biden with the circles, right? The little, so he's got like 4 people in a circle. You know why he does the circles? Because he can't draw a crowd. So they put a circle like he's supposed. He's trying to be legitimate. But, you know, he's going to go by the science. He always says the science. He doesn't know what the word science is. So they have these like 4 or 5 circles. They put people. That way he doesn't have to be embarrassed when he goes to a high school gymnasium and he has like 40, 50 people. They had one not so long ago, and you saw this. He couldn't draw a crowd. It was a big thing. It was his opening or something. Couldn't draw a crowd. So they made it a round table. So he went in. They only had like 32 people. They said, this is very embarrassing. One of his people, and that's what they do. They're good. Some of the people surrounding him, they'll say anything and do anything. They said, let's not make it a speech. There's nobody here. Let's make it a round table. So these people are sitting at a table. They had no idea. Most of them didn't know anything about politics. They didn't even know why they were there. And now they're sitting on a round table and they're on television. But that's what it is. But they say, we had a smattering of people. Yeah, a smattering of about, what, 15,000 people on about 2 days' notice. And this doesn't include the 10,000 people, Mike, that they turned away. I hate that they turned them away. You know, you think with an airport, you wouldn't have to turn anybody away, but they have a certain amount, and then sometimes you have Democrats running an airport, and they don't like all these people here. That's true. They don't like. But if it were up to Biden, your state would be in ruins. And, you know, just take a look at what they've done. And I'm going to hit it hard. You know, they make phony commercials about me, and it gives me the right, like, how about the worst one of all, the worst I've ever seen, standing on a grave of a fallen soldier. And then they had some guy, a source said, there's no source, the source doesn't exist. They make it up. And then they take it, it's called disinformation. You're not supposed to do that. And I'm not even sure if he knows. He's too weak to understand, and he's too weak to control his people. But it allows me to say whatever I want about this guy. And the truth is, he's not fit to be your president. He's not mentally fit. If Biden's elected, extremists like Representative Ilhan Omar, whatever happened to her? You had a great writer who has just made a living off writing about her, and she's done so many criminal acts. Isn't it damn disgraceful that she gets away with it? And I have to say to myself, I say, how the hell does she get away with that? And if we do one thing, look at General Flynn. He didn't even lie. They said he didn't lie, right? And he's gone through hell. He's gone through hell. This guy wrote page after page of criminal acts. Well, let's see what happens. Who the hell knows? But between her and how about AOC? AOC is running a campaign against the guy that was supposed to be Speaker of the House, right? Joe Crowley. I knew him a little bit. I asked him once, I said, are you campaigning against this maniac? He said, no, she's just a young girl, no problem. I called him on election night. Nah, I was going to. I was going to say, how did that work out, Joe? That didn't work. He was going to be Speaker of the House. She's got a certain talent. But, you know, all of a sudden she had no money, nothing. And all of a sudden she had $2 million. And she spent the $2 million all over the place, her and her boyfriend. Whatever happened to her? Can you imagine if I do that? She spent the $2 million. You to look at that. She spent the $2 million, and big story, but that was it. That's one quick story. Oh, man, probably the guy who wrote the story lost his job at the New York Times, right? He's now unemployed. But there's a big story. She spent $2 million on bullshit, okay? And if a Republican did that, they'd be in jail. You know that. It's a different standard, and it's a disgrace. And our guys better get on the ball. Look, let me tell you. How about yesterday they were talking about Russia, Russia, Russia again. Here we go with Russia. There's never been anybody so tough on Russia with the sanctions. Remember Obama would send pillows. I said tank busters, right, to Ukraine. I'm the one that exposed the pipeline with Germany. Germany pays them billions and billions of dollars, and then we're supposed to protect Germany from Russia. I said, how does that work? How does that work? You're spending billions of dollars for energy to Russia. It's all okay. I'm the one that exposed it. What I've done, hey, they don't want me to go, but if you look, they don't want me to win. Russia doesn't want. Maybe North Korea does, because I actually have a very good relationship with him. And you know, speaking of North Korea, and you know, it's okay to have a relationship. You don't have to go to wars. We don't have to lose our great soldiers. We don't have to. It's good. If I got along with Putin, somebody said, he gets along well with Putin. I'm saying to myself, but isn't that sort of a good thing? Is that bad? He gets along with Putin. That's a bad thing. But, you know, you saw the head of the FBI yesterday started to go, Russia, Russia's looking at our election, Russia. Here we go again, Russia, Russia, Russia. I said, what about China? What about North Korea? What about Iran? What about, they don't mention anybody else. The narrative seems to be Russia. Millions of phone calls made, not one to Russia. Millions of phone calls received, not one to Russia. Then he goes, Russia, Russia. Then they asked him about Antifa. What do you think about Antifa? Well, it's an ideology. I said, no, it's not ideology. It's a bunch of thugs and anarchists that are being funded by somebody, and find out who the somebody is. It's unbelievable, unbelievable when you look at this stuff. But seriously, take a look at the AOC. I call it AOC plus 3. You know, her 3 people that she tells what to do, and $2 million, dresses, rent, other things. You're not supposed to do that. Mr. Congressman, are you allowed to do that, sir? You don't do that. You don't buy dresses, do you? If he does, that's the end of his career, right? No, but it's terrible, right, Tom? I mean, it's terrible. Well, prosecute him. I mean, yeah, why not? I don't understand it. I'll tell you what. You know, a friend of mine, a very sophisticated guy, very successful guy, called me up. He says, you know, from the day you came down the escalator with our great First Lady, future First Lady, said from that day, our people love her. She gave a great speech at the Republican National Convention at the White House. She gave a great speech. But said from the day you came down the escalator with our First Lady, from the single day, you've been under investigation. You've been under investigation by sleazebags, people that now we caught cleaned up their phones. You're not allowed to do that, right, Mr. Congressman? My great hockey player, you're the greatest, right? But you're not allowed to do that, you know? We want their phones. Oh, here they are. Oh, by the way, they happen to be totally deleted, like Hillary with the 33,000 emails. She deleted them. I think they should look at that. You know, even if they don't find them, and I do believe they're in the State Department, I do believe they're in the FBI, but even if you forget about them, you know, she said she had 33,000 emails, and the emails were for her yoga lessons. That, you know, she's not big into yoga, I can tell you. If she is, she's not getting her money's worth. Her yoga lessons and her daughter's wedding, right? So it's a